Good morning. I'm Katie Resendez, the Director of Children's Ministries at UUC Phoenix. And I just realized I totally stepped on y'all. I'll do that again. Sorry. Good morning. Thank you so much for saying it back. I think maybe I just don't assume that that's going to happen. I'm sorry I stepped on your words. If anyone would like to come and sit down in the front, sit anywhere you like. Please feel welcome. Remember that this is your worship space. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to feel settled, and we want you to feel open. I promise these aren't paid actors, but I'm going to have them come sit up here. And Nabi, if you would sit right next to Gio. So, we call this our Sesame Street wall, and if you are my age, a little older, a little younger, you might know what I mean. And if you are these folks' age, you might not. But sometimes Kermit, let's see. Let's scoot this way, Nabi. Okay, chair's right there. Sometimes Kermit would sit on the wall and talk about big, hard things, and they would invite a kiddo to talk about them. And Kermit would say something, and then ask the kiddo something, and Kermit would say something, and then at some point Kermit would go, "Ah!" and fall off the wall. I'm not going to fall off the wall, because I just took the boot off. We're not putting it back on. Thank you. And I couldn't find any adults this morning, so I asked some kiddos to play the adults for me, because today it's going to be about information for adults, okay? You all don't need to listen to any of this at all. You can cover your ears, okay? So this week is a very, very hard week for you adults. We know you have a great big responsibility on Tuesday. You have to vote. And some of you may have already voted, which means this is an even harder week for you because you are anxiously awaiting the polls to return, which means the outcome of the vote. So how do we look when we're anxious? Okay, how do you all look when you're anxious? Everyone who didn't move lied. Because everyone tenses up in one way or another, even if you have a freeze reflex, some part of you tenses. So first, when you feel yourself tense, what do we do in children's ministry? If something's upsetting, the first step we do is take a... Okay, let's practice that together. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of what do you do when things are hard? Okay. Nabi, what kind of things do you do when things are scary or hard or you're anxious?
Should I take my mask off? The doc? Oh, okay. Sometimes I go in my room and be sad sometimes, and sometimes I talk to my parents or my sister about it.
Yeah, so two great things there. One, find space to be alone and to name your feelings and let that feeling be. And you might feel sad, you might feel angry, you might feel, what else? Anxious, frustrated, all of those things. Let yourself have those feelings, okay, grown-ups? That might mean today going home and spending some time in the mirror practicing what you think it looks like to have those feelings, okay? This is not a moment when your professional self is very useful, okay? Okay, so that's the kind of stuff we do. There's other kind of things we can do, Gio. Do you have anything that helps you feel comfortable?
When I'm scared? Yeah. For example, when I see a spider, I scream spider to let everyone in the house know that there's a spider, so then someone can come help me with the spider.
So we're gonna scream, red state! Okay, practice that with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, red state! Okay. When you're scared, it's good to name the thing you're afraid of. And that puts it in a box. Remember, we talk a lot about how putting things in boxes makes it easier, and we have to work on not putting everything in a box. This isn't a time when you want to give yourself gentleness. You want to put things in the boxes, you want to give things names. So let your emotions be, think about naming things, and then also find your comfort items. Like, Gio, do you have a blanket? Oh, there it is. It is 100% okay on Wednesday for you to wear your comfiest clothes and for you to wrap up in a blanket, or even better, a weighted blanket, and just comfort yourself. Remember that you have hands, and you can comfort yourself by rubbing your own shoulders, right? And sometimes rubbing your face. And then there's another thing that you can do. I have to take my glasses off. But if you're feeling really agitated, You can pick a spot and look at it and cover one eye and take a deep breath. And cover the other eye and take a deep breath. Okay, kiddos, that's a lot of skills. Do you think you can remember them to teach all the grown-ups? Okay. The other important thing to do is to remember what your source is and what's making you agitated. Okay, if I were to tell you there are butterflies flying towards the sanctuary. Yeah, can you say that again, just like you said it?
Oh, wow.
Right? There are butterflies flying towards the sanctuary. Now what if I said, there are butterflies flying towards the sanctuary? What does that feel like?
It seems like you're scared.
Yeah, and how do I want you all to feel? Scared. So when you're watching election news, when you're listening to Yes, Even NPR, remember that it is very important for them to make you feel excited. But whether or not you feel excited is whose choice?
Your choice.
It's your choice. Whether or not you're agitated is your choice. You can step out of a situation, you can step back, and you can take a deep breath. Okay. So we know our coping skills, we know to check our sources. What are other things we might want to need, or we might need? What do you think, Bela? Here I come.
What are other things we might need?
Yeah, when things are scary, what are other things we might need?
I would say, somewhere to feel better. Someplace that you feel nice, like a happy place in your mind that you get to think of.
Yeah, hold a happy image in your mind. Hold an image of a place where you are safe and where you are loved and where you feel honored. For some of you, that might be the sanctuary. Jez, what's something for you?
Human beings.
Human beings, right. So you might need to go in your room and feel your feelings. Do not stay in your room. You need to come out. You will need groceries at some point. Okay? So make sure that you have human connection. And that might mean this afternoon, after service, connecting with someone and being like, hey, Tuesday evening, is it okay if I give you a call just on election stuff? Wednesday morning, is it okay if we hang out and have coffee? Make those appointments now, because you might need them. I'm not saying the election is going to go bad, but one of the things we've learned in Navigators is that a hike is better when you are prepared to go for a hike, right? And we've done a lot as the kiddos in this congregation to figure out how to deal with our emotions, to deal with big anger, big hurt, big happiness. And we just want to help you all because we know you're just learning it. And we want to make sure you can handle this hard week. So, kiddos of UUCP, if you see an adult this week, especially Tuesday or Wednesday, who seems very tense and nail-biting, are you willing to help them out?
Yeah.
Okay. This afternoon, are you willing to remind them of how to be relaxed and calm? Because the next step after that, after Wednesday, is we're going to have to take action. Whether or not it's take action against the people who were just elected, or to fight like hell to help the people stay elected who just got elected. We have work to do. It's not just at the ballot box, right? And we need to support one another. Any other last tips? Things to do when you're anxious or things about this week?
When, if the election does go bad and you're feeling stressed out and angry, don't take it out on your kids because they had nothing to do with it. It's like when I watched the Kansas City Chiefs and they might lose even though they don't because they're the best team in the league. Then my day might get a little ruined, but I don't take it out on my parents because, it's not their fault.
They tried their best to help the Kansas City Chiefs. We understand. Don't take it out on one another. You got it. Thank you all. Remember, if you need support and help, these are the folks to lean on because they know how to do this. Okay? Thank you all. Remember how very, very powerful you are and so very, very loved.